Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we'll be talking about the positions of the elbows when throwing. We're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so one of the biggest mistakes that I see when watching quarterbacks throw is there's like an overcoaching, I think, with this front arm and, really trying to negate any type of movements it's having within that front arm. And I think that's really limiting the amount of velocity or distance that you're able to create within the throw, right? And so what we're really talking about is like there's a relationship within, this front elbow. So when we're first loading, we want to see that type of an action, right? Something where we get the back elbow up as well as the front elbow. We don't want to just see this movement, because what happens is when we limit the ability to get this front elbow going, it makes it so it's harder to be able to generate overall rotation within the spine. We know that in order to be able to throw with a large amount of velocity, there needs to be torque. There needs to be rotation, right? And so if you don't utilize that front arm at all, it really makes it a lot more difficult to be able to, generate a lot of force, especially if you're not 6'4", 6'5", 215 pounds, right? There's guys that are able to, still get a lot on it that are just, maybe very still within their front arm, right? But those guys are going to be a lot bigger overall. And when we look at the Josh Allens or the Patrick Mahomes, they're very active with that front arm, right? And so what we want to see here, and when we're first going through, we want to see that separation, right? We want to see this elbow up, because there's people that don't even get this elbow up, right? So when you're here and you're trying to generate force, you're really not going to be able to create any type of action or any type of true velocity. We want to be able to see a separation between the elbows to then make it so then you can come through. So, what happens is if you're too limited here, you don't generate any pull. You're just limited in your ability to really follow through the throw. We want to be able to get that front elbow to come up so then you can pull down. Now, when you're throwing deeper, we can get that front shoulder higher and get that front elbow up higher, and then that helps you in pulling down, right? And some people talk about how this shoulder pull can end up doing this, and that is true. You could end up having some degree of pull off to the side if I pull my elbow this way, right? But if I'm really understanding what I'm trying to do with that front arm, I should really be here and pulling that elbow back, right? And so it's here and I'm pulling my elbow back. So if I pull my elbow back correctly, I should be able to get myself more into an upright position. Okay, typically when we see guys leaning off to the side too much, it has something to do with their inability to create proper timing within that lower body to be able to really generate good rotational force in the lower body, right? So we want to be, getting that action, the rotational force first, and then pulling through, and that will keep us upright. But if we're here already within the lower body, or we have inability to really shift our weight, our hips go off to the side here, then that's what's going to create us, falling off to the side on this way. So what you want to be seeing, again, is we want to see a separation with the elbows, and then really being able to pull that front elbow back, and then use that to drive that front or that back elbow through. Now, when we're trying to get more force behind it, a more distinct pull, right? And so what happens is that when I start to create more pull within this front arm, it ends up mistiming the wrist. So we want to be, and this is an important concept, guys, you want to be able to really understand this fully, okay? So you're starting to understand how to be able to use that front arm, how to create that relationship within the elbows. So if this arm's pulling back and down, this elbow's coming up, right? But if this elbow stays down, sometimes I'll end up dropping this elbow down below. But now if I start to generate more force with this arm, I could end up not being in a great position within my wrist. My wrist can end up being more like this rather than being able to get up on top of the ball. So when you generate more force through this arm, make sure that you're creating the right amount of timing within the wrist so it's not affecting or negatively impacting the throw. All right, and that's a really important thing to be able to understand, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the difference of when you're really starting to pull and generate a lot of force. It's harder to get that wrist in a good position, but the best are able to do it, and that's why they're able to throw the ball 60 yards plus. And that's really the idea here, is how can we continue to help you guys in understanding how to generate more velocity, how to generate more force. I think with the Throw 60 program, it's really opened up my eyes to the understanding that there's a lot of guys out there that have the accuracy, that have the timing, that have the footwork, but they don't have the arm strength to be able to get them to the next level. And it's not a matter of strength, right? It's not a matter of size. It's just an understanding of what you're doing within your body that will really be able to make you get to the next level. So if you're wanting to get more information about that Throw 60, we have links in the description down below. I highly recommend it. You could hop on a free Zoom with me. We'll go over the program. You could also sign up. All that is down below in order to get started. But You know, things like this, it's all going to be subtle changes. There's going to be different things we got to do within the lower body, within the upper body, within the wrist. And when you time all of it up right and you have the right rhythm within it and also consistently work on it, you're going to be able to make substantial change. And so that's what we're really trying to do within this 3-month program. So check out all that in the link down below. Click the thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, leave those down below. We'll talk to you soon.